to bring us the latest on a very key race.
That's right, Kevin, and low voter turnout also being the characteristic that is shared in Mombasa as it was in Kakamega today.
Well, that, Mark, was one of the concerns raised here, or rather what we witnessed here in the port city of Mombasa, with some of the polling stations concluding the voting exercise at around 5 p.m., registering not more than 50% of the voter turnout. It's indeed a concern that perhaps is something that the people of this part of the country need to look out for going forward. But right here we are at the Swahili Cultural Center in Swahili Port, which is the Mvita Constituency Tallying Center. And as you can see behind me, there's a beehive of activity. We're expecting more than 202 polling stations within this constituency to bring all the ballots here for the tabulation verification, and later before the same being taken to the county tallying center that is in Kizingo, where the returning officer Swalha Yusuf will be receiving all the ballots, the results from all the 6 sub-counties of Jomvu, Changamwe, we're talking about Likoni, here in Mvita, crossover to Nyali, and of course also all the way to Kisauni. So this is an exercise that is happening across all the constituency tallying center. Remember, Mombasa had a total of 641,000 registered voters, but because of the low voter turnout, we're expecting perhaps not more than 400,000 votes to be taken, or rather to be taken to the county tallying center. Of course, there's a lot of events that occurred during the day, but first, before we come back to you with more information, let's just take you through what transpired here in Mombasa regarding the gubernatorial polls.
Gubernatorial election in Mombasa County kicked off Monday morning at 6 o'clock with tens of voters at the Marycliff polling station braving the chilly morning ready to cast their votes. Out of the 6 streams here, only one of them experienced Kim's kit failure, temporarily stalling the voting exercise.
Hiyo app ya tarehe ndio bado haijajitokeza.
Kwa hivyo unachukua muda gani?
Tumepiga kwa tallying center, kwa hivyo wao ndio watakuwa vile ule muda ambao watakaochukua ndio tutakuwa tuangoja.
Voter apathy remained a major concern across the 1042 centers within the port city. Most of the polling stations have an average of 600 registered voters, but more than half of them had not yet shown up by the time polls closed at 5 p.m.
From morning it was worse. We'll go for like 20-30 minutes and we get 2-3 voters, but for now at least we are seeing the last minute rush. People are coming in.
Watu walikufa moyo kwa sababu hawakupewa nafasi siku ile. Ndio maana hata wanaimasishwa watoke, lakini I know a big number of people that, you know, they're expressing some kind of dissatisfaction by saying bana IEBC iko na matata kiasi.
It is your responsibility to select the next governor of Mombasa. It's an incredibly important position, and if you do not come out to vote, don't blame anybody afterwards.
Claims of voter bribery were, however, reported in some areas, despite heavy police presence at the voting stations. Top contenders for the county's top job, among them Abdul Samad Sharif Nasir of ODM and Hassan Sarai of UDA, voted at Mvita Primary and Kadarboy polling stations respectively. Others in the race include William Kingi of PA, Hezron Awiti VDP, Said Abdallah of Usawa Kwote Party, Shafi Mkazi of Upia, and Daniel Kitsao, an independent candidate.
Tumekuwa tumelinda hizi polling stations sisi wenyewe. Paka sasa tujasikia tukio lolote.
Ya kura inachukua muda wa chini takriban dakika 3 mpaka dakika 5. Kwa hivyo kwa sababu ni boksi moja peke yake.
Also, there were cases of insecurity witnessed in Makupa, with Haki Africa, a human rights organization group, reporting that 2 journalists had been attacked and their equipment stolen by a group of armed youth.
Wamekwenda kuwasilisha madai hayo katika Makupa police station, lakini wamewarifu kwa waende Majengo kwa vile hilo eneo lilitokea hiyo matukio ni pale Jela Baridi, kwa hivyo waende Majengo, na hivi sasa tunawafuatilizia ili tuwapeleke hospitali kwa majeruhi, vile pia tuwasilishe hilo.
Vote tallying is expected to conclude in less than 24 hours. Kevin Mutai, NTV in Mombasa.
Well, there are several stakeholders who are part and parcel of monitoring the polls here in Mombasa, and Haki Africa's Hussein Khalid was part of the team observing the polls. What is your take on the gubernatorial election here in Mombasa, Khalid?
Kevin, so far what we've witnessed as an organization is that there was largely peace and calm, although there were incidences of insecurity that were reported in Kisauni, in Mvita, as well as in the evening we saw a few fracas by youth in places like Ganjoni. But largely we can say the election exercise, the security was maintained. What was very disappointing was the turnout. The turnout was extremely poor. I don't think we've ever recorded this low turnout in Mombasa all these years. So that is something that we need to work on. I think as a people we have to see what the problem is moving forward.
In Ganjoni, is this the similar place that we had, there were gunshots reported?
Correct.
What was all that about?
In Ganjoni, I believe there were rowdy youth who were armed with pangas, and one of them is alleged to have stolen the phone of another group. So they were engaging each other in, in a fight, some of them with pangas, some of them with knives, and we also had gunshots. So I think that is very unfortunate. Fortunately, that incident is not in any way linked with the elections, because it was just thuggery that we've been witnessing.
As an observer of the polls here in Mombasa, there was a low voter turnout, as you said. What do you think perhaps contributed to what we witnessed during this exercise, which is not so good as what we saw during the August 9th polls?
I think mostly it will be apathy. And of course, people are tired. We've been through a very rigorous and, split campaign where the population was divided into two. So we believe that, it's apathy. People were really tired. But then also, here and there we were being warned about chaos, about violence. So perhaps some people stayed home because of that. And then also, of course, the fact that we are not voting for many. It's just the one position of the governor that has contributed to this. Yes.
Well, of course, as you said, it's only one ballot box that the people of Mombasa came out to vote for the governor. You've been tallying the results. How long do you project this tabulation of the votes to take place from the constituency tallying centers, and finally where the final tabulation will be done at the county tallying center?
Yes, we've been in touch with the returning officers, and asking them how long they expect this exercise to go, and they're saying it shouldn't go up to morning. So we are hoping if it's very late, then early tomorrow morning we'll get the final result, and the winner will be given their certificate.
And the people of Mombasa will know who's their governor-elect.
People of Mombasa will know who is their governor-elect. Correct.
Thank you so much. Well, of course, as I said, there's a big